Welcome, everybody. This is the first edition of But That's Just Me, a new series that I'm just gonna kind of voice my opinions on things, like things that I have interests in. So, like MMA, wrestling, WWE, um, metal, just music, anything that like is basically opinion based. I'm gonna have an opinion on it, and I'm always gonna because I always like to say, "But that's just me." So I figured I'll make that into a little thing. So the first edition here today. Why Ronda Rousey needs to get the fuck out of WWE. Now, I don't necessarily have the bullet points because it's kind of short and sweet, but it also might be long, I don't know. But um if you guys aren't in the loop at all in the news and etc., like Ronda Rousey joined WWE after she got exposed in UFC. Now, you can call me a hater all you want. I've never been a Ronda Rousey fan ever in my life. Even when she first came on the scene, I just never was a fan. I always just knew I was just like, yeah, this woman's overrated. The only reason that she's so good is because the other women are that bad, and the other women were that bad at that point. Misha Tate has some of the worst striking I've ever seen. It hasn't developed, and she got demolished by Lauren Murphy. And my cat's at my fucking door. She got demolished by Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy, bro, she gets demolished by. Not anybody that's like crazy good, like Lauren Murphy. Like, Lauren Murphy isn't trash, I would say, but like, she's not a Valentina, you know what I'm saying? But that's why Ronda Rousey was so good, because she was losing to women that weren't good. Or, yeah, she was beating women that just weren't good. She wasn't going up against a Valentina, let's say. She wasn't going up against a Joanna, you know what I'm saying? And I was just never a fan then. And I knew the hype was real. I knew the hype job was there. I knew the fix was in. Not the fix, but you know what I mean. I knew that, like, her time was coming. And I predicted the Holly Holm knockout to a fucking T. I said she is going to get knocked out in the second round by a head kick. And that's exactly what happened. Ronda Rousey got knocked out, second round, head kick. And it was glorious. It's still my favorite knockout to this day. But let's just get to the WWE portion. She came into WWE 2018 Royal Rumble, so like the beginning of the year of 2018. And it was the first ever women's Royal Rumble, right? So this was when everything was kind of taking a push, right? Like, oh, women got to do everything the men can do and all this stuff. And that's when the kind of whole woke thing came about, and women got to get all this stuff that the men get. And it just makes everything fucking longer. We have to sit through more shit in WWE. And they gave us the first women's rumble, and it didn't seem forced necessarily, but we kind of know WWE's agenda, right? Like, they're just trying to look good because they've done some sketchy shit, and they just want to look really good to advertisers and stuff like that. So they're going to give the women basically everything that the men do. So Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania main event now, etc. So she came in Royal Rumble 2018, and I think I have like a reaction video of that shit up here on the channel. But I was not happy, and there was rumor of it, and I was hoping it wasn't true. And here she comes out at the very end of the Rumble, and it was a good Rumble. Like, it was decent, and it was decent because, like, even though they had like the classic women in there that most people don't want to see, and by then it wasn't worn out because it was the first Rumble, right? So we didn't see a lot of these women for a long time, so it was nice seeing a couple of those. And then Asuka wins, right? And that was, I think, like one of the first years, or since I came back to wrestling in 2017, that people wanted the two Royal Rumble winners of 2018 to win, and they won. Like, WWE actually did something right at that point. For that point. They actually made that night very fucking special, dude. Like, Asuka won the Women's Rumble, and I'm pretty sure that closed the show, because of the whole Ronda reveal, but nothing was better than Nakamura winning. Like, Nakamura, and especially how he eliminated Roman Reigns, basically the golden child that time. Everyone was hating on him. And Nakamura and Asuka won. And I remember those are the two people that everyone wanted to win. And it was such a good feeling. We finally got what we wanted from WWE. It was about fucking time. I can't really say that though, because I came back watching Raw after Mania 33. So I didn't get to see like all the shit that people were getting pissed at, and like for me, like a watch again, as a basically born again wrestling fan, I was basically what we wanted. We got. You know, Vince wasn't like too damn old at that time, so like we weren't getting as bad a product as we're getting now. And I remember Asuka won, and it was such a good moment because it was the same shit, right? She Nakamura eliminated Roman, who no one liked, and Asuka eliminated Nikki Bella, who no one liked. Like, no, everyone thought that Nikki Bella was gonna win, and even I did. I was like, they're down to the last two. It's Nikki Bella and Asuka, and then Asuka kicked Nikki Bella. It was fucking great. And then Charlotte and Alexa are in the ring because basically like, oh, I'm gonna pick my champion type thing. Ronda Rousey comes out, steals Asuka's moment. It just completely stole Asuka's moment, and I fucking hated that, dude. Like, I hated that so fucking much, man. And, like, coming from someone who never liked her in the first place, like, I was disgusted by Ronda coming out. Disgusted, so. Then, her run kept going. I thought it was just, like, kind of a one and done, because, but actually, I shouldn't say that. Because there was a whole thing that they were setting up the WrestleMania match. So, I was like, okay, she's just going to be here for a short period of time. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be a nip in the bud. WrestleMania match. Boom. Gone. She stuck around for a year and like 4 months. And it was terrible. Her matches were clunky. I don't care if she's new or not. There's so many people who are new to this business who do so much better than she does. And people always like to give that excuse. Like, and women get this the most, I find. Like, women athletes, just in general. Like, if a man did the same job that Ronda did, everyone would be calling for him to be fired. Granted, this is before the Fire Ronda hashtag. But if a man would never have a run that long being that bad in WWE. It wouldn't happen. And if it has, fucking correct me. I would love to hear it. I didn't start watching WWE until 2017. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But from when I was watching to when she debuted, like, I've never seen someone that was that terrible, a man, get that much opportunity. Yet you have women on the roster who are vocal on social media, by the way, vocal about wanting more TV time, some women actually wanting to go back down to NXT to hone their craft, like a Mandy Rose, for instance, who got fired, by the way. I know there was like a bunch of different backstage shit, but we're not talking about that. But my point is, if a man was as bad as Ronda was for a year and 4 months, almost a year and a half, he would have been fired within the first 6 months. Seeing all the negative reception, but they did a lot of smoke and mirror shit too for Ronda's first run. They had people carrying her in matches. They had Nia Jax basically carrying the heavy load, and they had Triple H, Stephanie, and Kurt Angle carrying her through her first WrestleMania match, which is fine. I mean, it's Triple H match. He's gonna get the longest match at Mania, and I'm surprised he didn't fucking put himself over. I'm really shocked, but they did a lot of shit to like make her look really good, except for when it got around August, around when it got to SummerSlam time, and she had that god-awful match with Alexa Bliss. And I think she won the title. I think that was when she won the title, and she didn't lose it until WrestleMania, and she was just winning every single match just by the same shit. Oh, I do my armbar. Oh, I win the match. It's like, that's terrible. She didn't adopt a wrestling style at all. And it's like, Shayna Baszler actually learned how to wrestle. Like, she does some MMA stuff in there, but like, it's not her whole thing. Like, she actually can do moves. She could actually do lockups and shit. Like, it's actually good. And Matt Riddle, MMA fighter, but he adopted a wrestling style. Like, I honestly hate the MMA wrestling style. Like, Marina Shafir does the same shit in AEW, and I fucking can't stand it. I hate the MMA style wrestling style. I hate it. I hate the MMA style in wrestling. It needs to go. It's so stupid. I can watch UFC if I want to see that. And that's all Ronda does. And people for the longest time were, it's the same shit with UFC. Like, I was like, nope, she's not that good, man. She's fucking shit. She needs to get out of here. She's keeping other women off the card. And people called me a hater this and hater that. And now look where we are. Look where we're at. 4 years, no, almost 5 since she made her debut. Almost 5 years since her debut. And little to no improvement. Little to no improvement. When I learned to play guitar, I was way better in my first 5 years than she was in her first 5. And obviously that's a physical thing. Guitar is not physical, you know what I mean? But like, if you're at something for 5 years, doing it consistently, and you're still not good at it, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter if it's physical, if it's non-physical. If you're doing something for 5 years, you better get good at it. Like, even my first channel videos have good amounts of views on them. That was when I first started, and then like as I gotten better, like there's improvement in my channel over the many years. There should be more, but that's just my inactivity. That's my own fault. That's my own discretions. But she's getting help, all this stuff, and she's just not improving. Like, she cannot talk to save her life. I'm showing more emotion right now than she has done in any promo she's ever done. That isn't forced and feels fake. She's the biggest fake tough person I've ever seen. Like, we know you're not tough. We know that you break down when things get tough, you break down. That's just how that we know that. And it's not like, oh, well, we can't separate it, because we did with CM Punk. Like, we're like, okay, like, we know that, like, he's almost 40, he's in the UFC. Like, we knew it was going to happen. But when he did promos, we're like, okay, it's still believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he went to AEW, it still felt like no one, like, kept judging him for his UFC losses. Everyone's like, okay, fuck. Like, he did what most people wouldn't do. He talks shit. He goes in there and does it. He failed, but at least he did it. But it's like, you lost a fight and you crumbled. Like, beyond recognition. And that killed her career, I think, in my opinion. It honestly did. Like, WWE tried to revive it, but she's nowhere near as hot as she used to be, especially right now. Like, when she came in 2018, she at least had a little more credibility. But now, it's like, I swear to God, it's almost, I think this year will be like 10 years since her first fight in the UFC. 10 years. It was that long ago. And she's losing her relevancy. She's losing it. And I think that's why she came back. Because she was losing the limelight and she decided to come back. But she's worse. She's worse. You're taking spotlight from Xia Li, Aaliyah, Raquel, who they buried, Shotzi, right? You're taking spotlight from all those women that can do it better than you. And they have all that. They had the perfect situation. I said this comment plenty of times. I said, if WWE had have given us a curveball like they used to back in the day, could you imagine how better probably Raquel would have wanted to become if she, like, just say she said, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna improve my physique even more. I'm gonna become even more of a force now that I'm champion. I'm gonna show you guys that you did not make a mistake. That does that shit to people. She's young. She's an upstart. Could you imagine if they just didn't say anything, and then all of a sudden they said, you know what? Get in the ref's ear. Go home for Raquel. She's going to win the title. We're going to try something. And she doesn't even know. That would have probably awakened such a fire in her that she would have been an amazing star. But what do? You bring back Charlotte Flair. And I'm a Charlotte Flair fan. I honestly am. But it's sickening that these other women don't get chances. When I mentioned before how these women will be on social media wanting to work. Like, I don't care if you don't really see anything in someone, you fucking try with them. Like, you try. You pay for them, right? Like, they're getting paid, some of these talents, and they're not even being used, but they'll be paid. I think they had Naomi home, and Jimmy, her husband, they were home for months, just getting paid, because they had nothing for them on TV. Tons of talent that happens to. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, I think it was just Aleister Black. He was sitting home, had to say that he had to come clean that it wasn't an injury. He was just sitting home, collecting a check. It's like, these guys want to be on television. Put them on TV. Ronda doesn't want to fucking be there, yet you force her out every week. Not every week, but you know what I mean. Like, you force her out there, she does the cringiest promos. Again, has what... I have better emotion. I could do a better promo than Ronda Rousey. I'm kind of cutting a promo right fucking now. Much better than any Ronda promo. She has no charisma. She can't act. She can't wrestle. Get her the fuck out. That's strike 3. You're out. Yet, they keep her. She doesn't put asses in seats. She doesn't put asses on couches for ratings. She doesn't do it. When SmackDown as a whole might get like 2.1 or 2.2 million viewers. Not bad, you say, right? When I started watching again in 2017, I'm pretty sure SmackDown was netting about almost 5 million a week. Maybe around 4 or 5. They were getting double the audience they are now. And they even managed to pull, I think it was a 4 on their Fox debut when Brock Lesnar buried Kofi. They pulled a 4 rating because it was a big debut on Fox. It was all that, and that was the last time SmackDown had an incredible number. That was the last time I think WWE as a whole had an incredible number when it comes to their weekly television. Because we've never seen ratings that good again. Raw got like a 1-2, I think it was last week, or two weeks ago now. It was recent. I don't necessarily know, but it was recent. Ronda's not drawing shit, and they need to see that. And I don't know if there's like something behind the scenes that they just love this woman. I don't know how anyone can like her, honestly, but it's like, what is going on? You should look at the metrics. Say, okay, when her segment's on, how many viewers spike? How many viewers spike in the hour that she's in? And if it's not in the millions, because she has millions of followers, this is my thing. If you have millions of followers and not even 1 million of them come to watch you when you're on something, you're fucking irrelevant and you're not a draw. That's just my thing. Because there's plenty... the Super Bowl, for example. Millions of people will just tune in just to watch the Super Bowl halftime. And then they cut out. Because they're fans of Rihanna or Beyonce or just say Ariana Grande, right? Whoever's fans of them, they'll tune in to watch. If Beyonce or Rihanna announced they were going to do something on Raw or SmackDown, like they were going to do like a special performance or like a special opener of a premiere, that show would probably get a 3 or 4 million rating. Because for that moment, there will be a spike in hour 1 because people are going to want to see them. Ronda doesn't get that. Granted, they have more followers, they've been around longer, they have more of a fan base. However, Ronda got such a big fan base in such a little amount of time, and the followers, you don't even bring 500,000, and you have millions of followers on platforms. Not just one platform, like you have millions across all the platforms, and you don't even bring in 500,000 to watch you. Not a draw. Same thing with Logan Paul. I know I'm going to take probably some flack for this shit too. But, like, I don't care if he's had 3 good matches. That's 3 matches, bro. Ooh. An athletic guy doing athletic things. I mean, good for him. But, like, that'd be like if I learned how... That'd be like if I just got as good at bass as I am at guitar. But it's like, it's not really surprising. I'm a musician. It's kind of my thing. Like, one of my only couple things. Like, I'm just good at that stuff. It shouldn't be surprising. Same with Logan Paul. He's an athletic guy. He does athletic things. Big deal. He doesn't draw either. Like, when he's on SmackDown, he might bring 100, 200,000 people to watch. He's got like almost 40 million followers across all platforms. He doesn't even bring 500,000 people to watch him. He's not a fucking draw then. Same shit with Ronda. She brings no people to watch. She's driven more people away from the product. And they brought Charlotte back, and she's gonna do the same thing. Even though there's people who are fans of her, but we're just sick of the booking. We want to see the Raquels, man. We want to see all these new young talents coming up that want to work and never get the chance to shine because WWE just doesn't see anything in them. But they see things in Ronda Rousey, who stinks up the joint every time she's in that ring. And Shayna Baszler's her friend, legit. That's good. I'm glad she has friends. But you know Shayna Baszler's thinking to herself, how come I never fucking get this treatment, bro? I deserve it. Shayna Baszler got let go by the UFC and actually decided, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to tuck my tail between my legs and run. I'm going to actually do something else. And she went on the indies and cut her teeth in the business and actually got good and learned something. Ronda came right fucking in. She didn't even go to NXT. NXT was popping in 2018. She didn't even do that. They just threw her right to the main roster and just said, oh, here's a championship. Because you're Ronda Rousey. You're legit, right? How come Matt Riddle doesn't have a title then? He's legit. He's more legit than Roman Reigns when it comes to legit fighting. How come you just didn't throw the title on Matt Riddle? That's a better option. More people, nobody would have been as upset if you brought Matt Riddle in and put the title on him because he's legitimate. That's the excuse for Brock Lesnar, right? And people are getting sick of his reigns. He comes in, because he's a legit fighter, which that's true. But they do the same thing with Brock Lesnar, but Matt Riddle's never gotten that treatment. Shayna Baszler didn't get that treatment. But the best thing about Matt Riddle and Shayna Baszler is they actually cut their teeth in the business, worked their way up to the big company, to the dance. Matt Riddle's won titles, don't get me wrong. Shayna Baszler was the main champion in NXT. She's achieved a lot, but it's like she deserves more than that because she actually cares. Same thing with the whole Becky Lynch thing. When Becky Lynch, in the Thunderdome era, when Becky Lynch got fucking pregnant and left, Shayna Baszler was the only one that kept kayfabe and wasn't happy for her. And there was heels and baby faces. Like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And Shayna Baszler kept kayfabe and said, oh, no, your baby's a parasite, which I fucking loved. I fell in love with Shayna Baszler that moment. And then Vince kept her off TV for like 4 or 5 months. And it's because she doesn't have the look. Well, we know what the look is. Blue eyes, blonde hair, right? And looks like a fucking Barbie doll and plastic surgery and all that. Shayna Baszler doesn't have that look. I mean, that's great. So, Ronda just needs to go. And, like, I know I kind of went all over the place, but my points stand for, like, why she needs to go. Like, I can describe other things, and you can come back and be like, yeah, he's actually fucking right. Like, she doesn't bring in money, as much money as they think she brings in. She doesn't bring in fans. She's driven fans away from the product more than anything. And she just isn't good. She just is not good. She isn't. And people like to think, and WWE did such a good job, like, making people think that she was that good. And she wasn't. When she was away, no one was clamoring for her to return. Nobody. And another thing I like to bring up, too, is just, like, as soon as she came in, oh my god, I swear to fuck. As soon as she came in, so many people, out of nowhere, was like, oh, dream match, dream match, dream match. How? No, you guys did not say not a fucking peep about Ronda Rousey in 2017. From Raw after Mania to now, no, not a peep. Of, oh, she should face this person. She should face that person. Oh, man, dream match this, dream match that. As soon as she came in, dream matches everywhere. A dream match is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. A dream match is Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. A dream match is Sasha Banks and Toni Storm. That's a dream match. Those are dream matches. Not Ronda and Becky. I don't know why people were going crazy over that match. That match would have been a train wreck. Because Becky Lynch, she's okay. She's decent. She can't carry a match, though. She can't carry Ronda to a good match. That WrestleMania main event was fucking atrocious. And that was disgraceful how they kept Kofi and Bryan out of that main event. That main event spot just so they could fucking look good for advertisers and everything, putting women in the first main event ever. Or the first women's main event ever. When it sucked. And no one was high for that match because they were still getting over Kofi winning. I don't get it. I don't get why she's still there. People have voiced their displeasure, the Fire Ronda Rousey hashtag, which I roared at because it needs to happen. People that we want to see, they fire, they get rid of. People who we ask deserve more TV time. Or not ask, the people that we say deserve more TV time. And again, we just want to see these people. And WWE doesn't see anything in it. I didn't realize that all these people that the WWE bought their own wrestlers merch. I wasn't aware of that. Like I thought we did that. I thought the fans put the food on the table for these wrestlers, right? I thought we buy the merch and we come to see the show. And same with the whole fucking Ronda Rousey was the reason Liv Morgan won the title. What? That's what I heard. That she was the reason that Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank cash-in. Because she pushed for Liv. That pissed me the fuck off. Because, like, I like to steal the phrase from CM Punk's pipe bomb there. I hate the idea that she's the best, right? I hate this idea that, I pushed for this. I did. When we were wanting Liv to beat Becky. What I think it was like back in 2021 Survivor Series time. I think they had a match then, right? I could be wrong, but it was around the Survivor Series time, and Liv and Becky had a match on Raw for the title, and it was the same situation. They could have just threw the title on Liv and said, "Let's take a gamble here." Becky wouldn't have lost any heat. Becky wouldn't have lost anything. As long as you just keep her on television, keep the promos hot, don't have her job, have her go out there and just win matches. And then eventually get the title back, she wouldn't have cooled down. Liv Morgan kind of cool, but she stayed on simmer a little bit. And then when she won the Money in the Bank, everyone was freaking out. But a Money in the Bank cash-in's cheap heat, we know that. But it's like Ronda pushed for that, not us fans that wanted Liv to get the title all along. We get nothing. We get no credit for wanting Liv to get more. It's Ronda. She's the reason Liv won. I said, fuck off with this woman. I'm sick of her. She needs so much spotlight all the time, and it's so disgusting to me. It's just like, oh, look what I did. I did this. And same with, I think, Shayna Baszler, too. That she wanted Shayna to get more time. And that's why Shayna's with her now. And Shayna's getting more TV time. Not us! Not us! Who, again, in the Thunderdome era that I mentioned earlier, how we wanted to see more Shayna Baszler. We're like, where the fuck is Shayna Baszler? She was kept off television because she didn't look a certain way. But Ronda comes back in 2022, and then near the end, oh, well, I feel that my friend deserves more TV time. So I want her to get more TV time. Yes, Ronda. Yes. What else do you want us to do? Do you want the women's division to only be an MMA style? Anything for you. That was bullshit. And I hate that it's like she comes off as this martyr or this big person that, oh, I say it so it goes. But they never listen to us. The ones who buy the merchandise and pay for the tickets. We get fucking nothing. We get shit television. Yet, when Ronda says that a person should be pushed on TV, that's when it happens. But not when we cry about it for months. Months we cry, and we get nothing. And my cat's fucking scratched on my door again. But we get nothing. And she's got to go just for that. Like, you don't listen to us, but you listen to a fucking bum, a has-been, but not us, who watch every week and are pissed off and frustrated and want to make the company better. We get nothing. So I know this was a long rant, but what do you guys think? Do you think she should stay, or do you think she should go? I think she should go, but the title of it, but that's just me. That's just me. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, the first edition of But That's Just Me, which is just opinion based on whatever I really want to talk about. So, This is A-Town 23, and that's just me. See you guys.